Thanks for coming, everyone. I was feeling to maybe start off with that song. We joined this morning, and our topic felt like surrender to God. Just that state of I surrender. Just take me. Whatever is meant to happen, whatever your plan is, I just let go, and I'm going to trust you completely. And last night we listened to a song by Kim Walker called I Surrender. And it's a song I've loved for many years, and actually took to learning it on piano a few years ago. And so I thought I'd bust out the piano and my old rusty skills and see if I could revive the song for you guys. So I'll start off with I Surrender. There is no love sweeter than the love This time, no turning back. I've made up my mind. I'm giving all of my life this time. 'Cause your love makes it worth it. Your love makes it worth it all. Your love makes it worth it all. Your love makes it worth it. Your love makes it worth it all. Your love makes it worth it all to you. I surrender everything, every part of me, all to you. I surrender all of my dreams, all of me, all to you. I surrender everything, every part of me, all to you. I surrender all of my dreams, all of me. Oh, I surrender.
Yeah, so it feels like surrender has been like the theme here. Or really, it's the theme, period. Always. Like, this path is really simple, really. All we're asked is to just lay everything down and let Him lead the way. Spirit waits on invitation. And His love makes it worth it all. I love that line in the song, your love makes it worth it all. Like while we seemingly go through stuff, that has to stay in awareness, like the stuff isn't really what's real, and the love is really, the experience of that love is our goal. But it can't come without the invitation. As long as we hold on to the stuff, there's no awareness of love. So it's so simple. We talked about it this morning, and I said, as soon as you say I surrender, nothing else is there. Like, we can just be silent after that. So I don't know what's going to happen here, what we might say.
Yeah.
Might be a lot of music.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Lots of surrender songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been helpful for me too to, whenever I feel like I'm like stuck in a problem, like stuck in some grievance or stuck in some, whatever it is, if I really pray on it, sometimes I'll get this awareness that all of a sudden I'll say, oh my God, I actually want this grievance right now. Like I'm choosing it, I'm wanting it, I feel safer in this than if I were to let it go completely. Because if I were to let it go completely, if I were to admit that actually I have no idea about what anything means and what's actually happening at all, then it would just be this experience of, abstract love, which doesn't allow for there to be a person, like a me. And so it just goes so deep, how frightened we are of the surrender. Because if we were to truly surrender, there wouldn't be a me. There wouldn't be an experience of subject and object. There would just be something that we've always wanted. We've always been desiring to remember our home in heaven. But there's this this thought in our mind that is just we watched that clip the other night from what's that animated movie where at the end where he's got the pinball machine. Waking Life, and there's a classic scene at the end where he says to him how he has this dream, and he describes this dream, and then the whole point of the dream is realizing that all of our lives are this journey of saying no to God, just saying no, and God is constantly posing a question to us: do you want to be with me? Do you want heaven? And we're just saying no, and I'm not quite ready for that yet. So we keep saying, no, thank you. But the surrender is when we finally say yes, and it's inevitable. We can't keep saying no forever. So it's really it seems to be a matter of time. But Jesus says in the Course that delay is impossible ultimately, but I forget the wording, but it's something like it's tragic. In time it's tragic, but ultimately it doesn't matter because we are going to say yes. We can't help but say yes. It's our heart calling us, and we can only cover it over for so long before it just gets painful, and we have to surrender. So I've always loved, the thing I have found so comforting with this journey is that I can't mess it up, really. Like I can seem to delay, and I can seem to stay stuck in loops, but even that, I don't even have, all I can really do is just trust that it's eventually, if I stay stuck in a loop, it's going to hit a point where it's too painful, and then my mind will surrender. And so it transcends even the idea of having to choose. It's it's inevitable. There is only the choice for love, and I'm on the journey home. And it's all unwinding, this perception of being stuck. It's unwinding by itself. Unwind your mind. Here we are. You call it when you do a little, I forget what you call this. You make a little promo moment. And we have a new book by David Hoffmeister called Unwind Your Mind Back to God. It's quite deep. Yeah, this book came from all these talks that were recorded from David in the 1990s, and I found them so powerful. Because when I started studying the Course, I pretty much instantly got into Ken Wapnick, which was super helpful for understanding the metaphysics intellectually. But eventually it reached a point where I could start to feel like he was a little off in certain ways, like just a little, like he hadn't fully surrendered himself all the way. And I think that's when I found David and started listening to Teacher of Teachers, this website that he has where everything in this book came from this website of these profound gatherings that he had in the 90s with students, and just going very deeply into things and answering lots of practical questions.
For example, how do I surrender?
Yeah, there's even a section right in there, huh? How to surrender to God or something.
Yeah? How can one surrender to God? I can just read it because I really like one of the things that he says in here. So it's the way it's set up. There's a question posed to David, and then he answers it. And what he says is, it rapidly becomes apparent that the human condition was one of ego dependency. Ego thoughts can but seem to veil the truth of oneself. Our Christ self is untouched by illusion. You wrote, I almost feel like my God concept is now far too complicated an idea to trust, and everything I have ever believed, I feel like I must let go. You're right on for holding in awareness any concept, including a God concept, with the exception of complete forgiveness, which is the final concept, is a block to true release. How can one surrender to God? How is forgiveness accepted? These are the same question, and the answer is the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a decision, and all that is asked of you is willingness to decide for God. The Holy Spirit is a decision, and all that is asked of you is willingness to decide for God. Each moment you do, this is a miracle. And with total willingness, the need for time and miracles is over. Application of A Course in Miracles, with willingness not to make exceptions to the workbook lessons, is what you might call practice. And each moment, if accepted for the Holy Spirit's purpose, is a full opportunity for simply letting go. I am joined with you in this purpose, and we cannot fail, for God's will is done. Nothing can change eternal love. With each willing moment, a momentum seems to grow, and a confidence and certainty about the Holy Spirit's guidance seems to grow as well. This momentum is like a tidal wave of love, and as the last sands of ego are washed away, it is obvious that love is all there is. The belief in opposites has been undone. Be open to this happy and true thought with each step you're guided to take on the road to recovery or recognition of spirit. It has been said, let go and let God, and this is sound advice. Leave the how to the Holy Spirit, for means and ends are one to Him. Only be willing. More you cannot do. The rest will be given you. I love you. It's just so profoundly simple. And it seems to only be difficult when there's something that I want to hold on to, that I want to be right about. Yeah, you said you're choosing the grievance. It's really all it is. It's like, because we can't have both. We can't have heaven and our fantasy, our grievance. We can't have that and hold the kingdom of heaven in our mind at the same time. It's impossible. And it makes it so simple because you can feel it right away. I just love that. Like every time I choose anything but heaven, I can feel it. And then there's my opportunity. Oh, come back home, come back home, come back. It's just so simple. And the surrender, yeah. It's all about the surrender of the story. Yeah, and it seems difficult when you think that the story is who you are, because it feels like you're dying in a way. If you surrender your story, where are you? Who are you? And then the trust has to be there that there is something other than this thing I think I am. And the more you're shown, the easier the decision becomes. It's like how David says it in here, the tidal wave. It just grows and grows, and the trust becomes so involuntary. It's like ends up actually not being a decision in a way. No choice.
Yeah. I like that metaphor of it's almost like we're like an overturned ship, like the Titanic or something, and it seems to take a lot of effort to get it. We have to keep being conscious to choose the miracle, choose forgiveness, but then it reaches a certain point when the halfway point when it just naturally wants to go that way, and then it does feel kind of like involuntary. It's like it's just too painful to stay in hell.
It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. I have Armel's song in mind. I was feeling to play.
Good, I was feeling a song.
This is a song that Armel had come through her, the lyrics. It was very personal when she wrote it. It was just a very personal, intimate song about her own journey of going from having Armel, for those of you who know her, she went through some intense darkness. After we got married back in 2009, she would have these really high highs, but these really low lows where it was just intense. And so she wrote this song kind of about that whole journey, and it's beautiful because the song kind of goes from beginning to end. It kind of completes the whole journey into back home. So it's called Trusting You. Memories have fooled me. I thought I was this body. I thought I was this personality. I thought I was so angry. Fear, pain, and jealousy. Everywhere I was seeing enemies. Attack and defense were my saviors, living like a lonely sailor. But trusting you is everything. Trusting you is all I need. I don't have to know neither when nor how. I can just relax like that, watch it all unfold. One day I felt you move me in a new direction of the journey. Instead of looking it all unfold. Watch it all unfold. I wanted so much to exist apart from you. I wanted so much my independence instead of the truth. I thought it was all there is. I really thought I could work it out. I had been so proud. I had been so proud. And I tried so hard to be perfect. But gently you showed me the way, so patiently when I was afraid. You've always been here by my side, telling me to relax and enjoy the ride. And now I know that trusting you is everything. Trusting you is all I need. I don't have to know now the when or how. I can just relax, step back. 'Cause trusting you is everything. Trusting you is all I need. No, I don't have to know now the when or how. I can just relax, step back, and watch it all unfold. Watch it all unfold. I so deeply believed I was this body. I really thought I knew what's best for me, and didn't want to let you guide me. I wanted to be in control and choose for myself. But now I know that trusting you is everything.
It's like fireworks.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, what I love about the song is that it's so honest. You know, she's just laying it all out like, yeah, I wanted to be separate, I wanted to make my own decisions, all the stuff. Like, you know, I can see sometimes where we want to say, oh yeah, I'm so willing, I'm so open for the answer, but no, sometimes we just are not, and there has to be honesty with it. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, there's a block there. So I just think that song is so great. It's just, that's what it is. That's what it is. This is how I went through it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Is there any way to get a recording of that?
Yeah, it's actually online right now. We did a studio version of it, and there's also live versions of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I bought that CD with you and Laura, is it on that?
I don't know if Laura and I have a CD, but if you email me, I can send you the link.
That Strawberry
to
a couple years ago.
Oh, right, the last.
Strawberry music.
Yeah. I don't think it's on that one, but it is online. I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to contribute something, if that's all right.
Yeah.
That you were talking about giving it to, just releasing it, surrendering it. I just got back from visiting my daughter in Missouri. I was there for about 3 months. And my biggest challenge in my life has been to forgive my husband. I've had just tremendous anger, rage, because he didn't play the role that I thought he should as a husband and a father. And I've spent my life, since I've been trying to practice forgiveness, trying to clear this and asking Holy Spirit, when I get triggered, help me see it differently. And I've seen him, when I've said that, Holy Spirit has shown me the beautiful innocence and purity of this man. But then then I'll get triggered again. And while I was in Missouri, my daughter and my granddaughter and I were at Kohl's, and we were just looking around at jewelry and saw these rings that were half price. And I said, well, I don't have a wedding ring. It doesn't fit me anymore. So maybe I should get a wedding ring. So I bought this ring there, and later on in the day, the thought came to me, when I go home, I'm going to show my husband this ring and say, well, Julie bought me a wedding ring. Like, you didn't, And I immediately, it's like, oh my gosh, that's an attack thought. And I've moved far enough in this that I'm through. I'm through with attacking this beautiful man. And I just said to Holy Spirit, I'm through with this, but I can't get through. It just keeps coming. I just can't do it. And I want to do it so badly. I just want to get through with this forgiveness process with this beautiful, innocent being that I keep attacking. And the thought came to me, well, I can't do it. I've tried my whole life and I can't do it. And then the thought came, turn it over to Holy Spirit. He can do it. And it's like I'm just at the end of this process. There's just this little bit left. And so I said, okay, Holy Spirit, I can't do this. So I need you to do it for me, because I am through. I don't want any more anger or attack thoughts toward this beautiful being. I don't ever want to make him feel that again. I never want to attack him again. So help me with this. And my son had came a week before I left so he could drive home with me. And we decided to drive all through the 24 hours, just drive through. And I was driving at night, and this vision opened up to me. I was in this movie theater watching this movie. And it was just really fascinating to me. And I got about the third of the way through, and it so caught me up that my mind just stayed right there thinking about what had happened in that part of the movie. And the movie kept playing, but I didn't see it because I'd left the present and was totally in the past of this movie. And that's what Holy Spirit showed me, is that in all this stuff that I was bringing up, these grievances, were in the past. And I wasn't in the present watching the movie. And somehow that just helped me so much to see that, and helped me to move into the present and let this past go. It was just a beautiful experience that was very, very helpful to me. And since I've been home, I have just felt very loving and kind, and just wanted to be kind and loving to this beautiful man. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
I like that idea that we can't really forgive of ourselves. We can only, ask the Spirit to, like, open our eyes, really. And then when, it's really like a prayer to see beyond the veil, to see beyond the sense of even separate people, even a sense of like being a person that we have had a grievance with, to being a beautiful person. It's like both of those are actually still holding on to the person, and it's just the prayer of our heart is to open up to see this beautiful light that's beyond everything. It's beyond all specifics, and then in that experience, there's nothing but that. There's just this knowing.
I haven't got there yet, but we all will. Huh?
Yeah, it's a beautiful prayer.
Yeah, like David's analogy of the projector, and you have all these like slides or whatever you put on them. You just keep layering them on in this world. All these concepts are the slides. So that's what the light is filtered through, seemingly. All these different concepts, like, bodies, people, whatever, separateness and all this stuff. And we're just slowly taking each slide off until there's nothing left on the projector. Yeah. So that's, there's still some slides on there.
Can I share? I had that sense when you were saying like people, persons, and you held your fist like this. It was like that hanging on to like people, there's just this really deep thing in the mind that's just like, persons, and then of course you have to have a problem with it, and it's just like, that's it. It's so beautiful. And then yesterday I went to get a haircut, and I suddenly I felt this prompt to get a haircut, so I did it, and it just like brought up all this stuff. And I just started getting the sense, like listening to the music as that she was cutting my hair and then going into a story, that I was just in a fantasy. Like that's what was happening. I was in a fantasy, and God is not in the fantasy. So it's like, if I want to come out and be with God, then I need to let go of the fantasy of being a person. And it's like, it just gets so simple after a while, as you said, Nita. But it's like, it's all. It was like that feeling of like kind of dawning as she's cutting my hair, like, oh my God, I'm in a fantasy world. Like, where am I? Like, that's what's going on. I'm just totally in La La Land right now. Like, just cutting my hair. Oh my God. So, I'll just share that.
It just seems like this is becoming so gentle. Like, when I first got into the course, I thought I had to do all these things. I had to let go. I had to look at my mind. I had to, all these things. And now it's just like, oh no, I don't have to do anything. It's just handing over the wheel and just watching what happens. I literally have to do nothing.
It's like that. That's it. We're turning into allowaholics. And whereas before we were judgeaholics, now we're becoming allowaholics, where it just feels so good to just allow whatever's happening, whatever seems to be arising in other people or in what seems to be this person. We're just starting to go, that feels so good, that sense of non-judgment. It's all the same. And none of it can have any effect at all on what we are and what we've always been. We've never changed. We've never miscreated. Really, we've never been as a separate. In the way we think we are as separate people, it's never. Just it wasn't. Never was.
Yeah, I had a moment recently where I thought I did something wrong and I was just feeling really like crazy in my mind for a moment. So I just sat down in here. And, there's still some sort of idea like what an answer might look like from Spirit as I'm praying. But the answer comes so quickly now because there's such an openness to just drop the story about everything I think is happening. And the answer came within like 5 seconds, and it was, there's no guilt. There's no guilt. Move on. There's just like we had our time of like working through things and figuring things out, and now it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you're done. It's
We don't
enough.
have to think that way anymore.
Yeah.
Everything has been forgiven. Everything.
Yeah. And somewhere there's a spaciousness now where that can be accepted quickly. Whereas before it seemed like we needed to join a lot and like it had to be talked through and expressed and all this stuff, and now it's just like, there's no guilt.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may, I'd like to read something from the Course. Is there a book in here?
Feels like there should be.
It probably should be, but... Oh,
Do you want to come
go.
up here?
He's got one, so...
Do you want to come up here?
It's not important to me.
Come up here.
Well, it's just been a wonderful topic because it's after that dream I had that I shared with some of you. I was prompted to lesson 189, and there's a paragraph that I'd like to share. It has been surrender. The lesson is, I feel the love of God within me now. In the paragraph, this book is not numbered, but says, simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. And each one of the, I'm going to read each sentence, is amazingly profound all by itself. Because as you were just saying, we join, we do this, we get all these concepts, and what we think of good concepts are concepts that have to be taken away. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. Be still and lay aside all concepts you have learned about the world. Be still and lay aside all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. I mean, that's an equal statement, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. It's not the first time that I've seen it, but oh my God, the good and the bad is equally illusory. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world, forget this course, and come with wholly empty hands unto your God.
Yes!
Wow. Because I had struggled, I had struggled with all the concepts. Like, I really appreciated you bringing up Ken Wapnick and his intellectual. I love his insights are astounding. And I got that same impression months ago. It's like, it doesn't feel like he had completely surrendered. And it's not a judgment, it's just my feeling. And I thought there's got to be a point where you let even these intellectual understandings go. Because, you know, I've been studying the Course for 7 years, and it's beautiful, but it's a concept. And this week has been a letting go of concepts for me. So, thanks for letting me share the love. That's all.
No use in keeping it in.
What's that?
No use in keeping it in.
Yeah. That is the truth. The love is all there is, and everything I've ever done is just put up incredible blocks to it. And as I watch the blocks crumble, I realize the love is simply there. It's simply what is. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Yeah.
Thank you. I have this other song coming to me now, that another one Armel wrote called Only Love. And it's very deep song.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, you know, it seems like when we first get onto this path, there's a training bit, like we get all the metaphysics down and all the intellectual things are falling in, just so they can be like called upon when needed. But like, what's so great about like what we're doing here, and really what Jesus is asking us, is that it's just about the experience. And like, this is what this is too, and everything that David shares is all about experiencing what the Course is teaching. It's not about really learning anymore. It's just the experience has to be there. That's all we want. We just want to experience who we are really, and yeah. Therefore, all intellectual knowledge and concepts has to just fall away at one point. It's just great. Like, where can you find a teaching that tells you gotta let go of the teaching? Like the book, the Course tells you, forget about this book. You just don't get that anywhere else. So, yeah. Like at one we get to a point where just reading the Course and studying and being a Course student is not enough, and there's like a bigger picture waiting. Yeah, I actually didn't get anywhere studying the Course. I just didn't get anywhere. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I found it quite amazing, because with Armel, like she had read Disappearance of the Universe and done the workbook, but she never really studied it either, and she didn't seem to like intellectually understand it. Like she didn't care, and I was like the complete opposite. I was like, you have to, like whenever she'd be going through the darkness, I would like try to teach her the Course, like, don't you? Okay, so you have to like, let's go through a forgiveness process right now, and it was so powerful for me to see how the intellectual understanding that I had was becoming a block. It was actually getting in the way of joining with her, because I would just try to, do the Course on her, and it would just backfire every single time. And so, yeah, it was powerful. I just started going, okay, I guess maybe I need to let go of these concepts, and even as helpful as they seem to have been in my own, because I was so intellectual and needed something intellectual like the Course. But yeah, there is a point, and some people don't even need it. It seems like some people their heart is just so wide open that they could just give two hoots about the Course and understanding it. There's just it's a willingness to open up to God, and that's what it's all for. So yeah, it's kind of neat. And I remember there being fear too, because I felt like, but if I don't remember, if I don't hold on to these concepts, these Course in Miracles concepts, and like this forgiveness process that I had a whole intellectual technique for, if I don't hold on to that, then what's going to happen to me? How am I going to deal with these upsets when they come up? And what I started to realize is that I just couldn't even go there intellectually, and all I could do was just fully surrender into the experience that was arising for me, and then I would seem to be kind of like guided through it, but it wasn't me. It wasn't anything I was doing. The whole time I thought that my intellectual, remembering the Course lessons, I thought that was helping, and it seemed to be, but what I saw was that was just an effect of my willingness, and it's really just the willingness that is all that matters. That's really what causes us to move through, is the willingness. It's not anything any techniques or even joining with other people. Like, nothing that we seem to do as people is actually the cause of our healing. It's purely our willingness and desire for it. So that was helpful, just to, okay, good, I don't have to, know any more techniques. Right? So I'll play this song, another one of Armel's.
She's the theme today.
Yeah, she came up earlier in their meeting, and yeah, Armel is with us. Hi, Armel. Thank you so much.
We love you.
Only love, only love, only love, only love, only love. There is only love. The past is gone, and I have been so mistaken. In everything I saw, nothing was real. The past is gone, and all has been forgiven. It all has been my imagination. Only love, only love, only love, only love, only love. There is only love. The past is gone, no more future. Time and space disappear. It was just a dream. Here or there, in or out, it's all the same. No more barriers. Only love, only love, only love, only love, only love. There is only love. You and me, up and down, they all collapse. There is only one. You and me and you, it's over now. There is only one. Only one, only one, only one. Only one, only one. There is only one. Only love, 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 only love. There is only love. And then we would always end it by looking at each other and saying, I love you. Which like contradicts the whole metaphysics, but it's just so beautiful because it undoes everything. Like, who cares about metaphysics?
Do you have something?
Yeah.
One second.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just feeling like that the movement from the no to the yes is really like you were just sharing in that song is acceptance of yes, I love you. That's done. That the story has come to that already. Everything else is a rerun of the past. It's like watching Knots Landing or some really old TV series. And it's a surrender into, yes, I love you, and I won't get distracted by what I've made of any of the characters, including the character self. I won't get distracted. And I feel a lot for us here now that's studying the course is very much just so you can hear the spirit in your mind, just coming to a place where there's an openness for that. And in the end, this experience of love is now. And there isn't really a process you have to go through before you can be in that experience. There's just that desire to just see everything as the past and done, and that you never had a contribution to make in the way you thought. That your innocence and your loving loveliness was given, and you must come into an acceptance of that now. Because everything else is a game. And everyone is just here waiting for you to wake up to that fact. And they're just playing their parts. And there seems to be interactions with persons, but they're just a thought in the mind, and what would you make of them? Just surrender them Surrender these thoughts, surrender yesterday, surrender this moment, like, and just that pause, just to say, I do not know this thing I am, and let it show you of itself. There's a line in the Gospel of Thomas that says, it's not an exact quote, but if you bring forth what is inside you, if you do not bring forth what is inside you, it will kill you, and if you bring it forth, it will save you. And this is so impersonal. And there is no one to forgive. And there is literally nothing to do. And then the grace is just that willingness to sit on your hands for a moment, seemingly, and watch all the routines that would keep running. And say, I don't know. And I'm all yours. Thank you.
Any more songs?
I have one more, and it's a sing-along. And actually, something you just said, Sarah, I love that what you just said about how there really isn't any contribution that we can personally make to the truth or to reality, and that's so freeing. Like reality is already perfect, who we are is already perfect, and we have no contribution to make to that at all. It's already a given fact, and all we can do is accept it. So it fits in perfectly with this song by the Beatles. Let it be. Just let reality be as it is, and stop trying to move things around, shift around the furniture on the Titanic, and just trust that everything already is. Let all things be exactly as they are. Dawn and I sang the song in the car yesterday on the way to work. She was going through some stuff, and then we started singing the song, and she just instantly was like, ah! I love how quickly my mind can change. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may depart, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, whispering words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And that's how we surrender. Let it be.
Perfect.
Thank you, Erik.